How to financially protect yourself and your family without wasting the best time in recorded history to start a home-based business. Here's an old but true proverb. The best time to plant a tree is 20 years ago. The second best time is now. A new world. We have witnessed an event that is unparalleled in our economic lives. Our daily existence has been turned upside down by an unseen enemy. If someone had told you about these insane circumstances a year ago, it could have been easily laughed off as the plot of yet another bad sci-fi film. But nobody's laughing now. The horrifying fact is there are countless bankruptcies, shuttered businesses, and sadly even suicides, due to the financial calamity being caused by the pandemic. It has affected us in ways that we could never have imagined. Entire categories of business that once brought in vast amounts of money, such as travel, education, and dining, were struck a crippling blow that brought them to their knees. We have been suddenly and forcefully prevented from enjoying some of the simple pleasures we recently took for granted. Little things like grabbing a drink with a friend, going to a movie or a concert, or even getting a haircut were abruptly and dramatically halted. Unemployment rates went from some of the best numbers we've ever seen in our country's history to record numbers of people being out of work in just a matter of weeks. Even if you're one of the fortunate ones who still has a job to go back to, the experience of being under lockdown orders for months at a time will leave a mental and emotional scar that won't easily be erased. There's the nagging fear and dark uncertainty that, even after the worst of this pandemic is over, many are deeply troubled that it could happen again. But in every crisis, there are those who thrive. It's not that these fortunate people were somehow smarter or better prepared than others. No, it was they were positioned in such a way that no matter what was happening in the world around them, they could not only financially survive, but also prosper. Not at the expense of those suffering, mind you. Quite the opposite, in fact. These industrious people have been in the position of being able to reach out and lend a helping hand to those being crushed financially. Self-reliance, myth or solution? America was built on the notion of self-reliance. Unfortunately, there are some smirking members of society who have been fooled into thinking that this founding principle of self-reliance was either a myth or an unrealistic and outdated concept, now confined to some dusty old history books. But in reality, that powerful American spirit still lives on, and in more people than you would ever imagine. You must find ways to rely on yourself, no matter what happens in the world around you. Otherwise, you will face and suffer the harshest of consequences. It is imperative that you find a way or ways to generate income which is dependent on you and your own abilities. To put it bluntly, you can't count on the government or anyone else. Creating your plan. How do you go about creating a plan to financially protect yourself and your family moving forward? Before exploring the possible solutions, you must first have the right mindset. Everything is changing, and those changes are happening faster than ever before. We've got new words and strange concepts like social distancing and the 6-foot rule that have become part of our daily conversation. You have got to change too. It's time for you to do some new thinking of the productive kind. Most of what people think about during these hard times is personally destructive to them. That's got to stop. You've got to think in terms of solutions rather than the immediate problems. The most obvious solution is to create an income-generating activity where you are in control of what you earn. Historically, throughout the pioneer days, our country was founded and settled by people who worked for themselves. But there are so many work, job, business possibilities now. How in the world does one narrow down the vast number of choices to something manageable? Being strategic with your choices. In starting any sort of new income-generating project, there are multiple considerations you must weigh. Your resources. Not only how much money you've got to work with, but also your time and connections too. Your current level of knowledge. To be direct, the less new stuff you have to learn, the shorter your learning curve will be in order to generate profits. the scope of your interests. It's hard to commit to something you're simply not interested in. However, your current interests can be broadened. In truth, you need to be more flexible than ever before. We're going to come back to this idea of being strategic a little later. But there's another ultra-important factor you must consider: reducing your risks. You must analyze the risk factors associated with any new income-generating activity. In an ideal situation, you want to generate the highest income as quickly as possible, while at the same time being exposed to the lowest level of risk. For most people, that rules out investing. Many people have considered putting their money into things like the stock market, commodities, real estate, cryptocurrencies, and so on. First, the movement of those markets is not something under your control in any shape or fashion. Far from it. Outside forces control those markets. Secondly, there exists the possibility of losing part or all of your money, as we've seen countless times over the years. Thirdly, it takes either a lot of money or a lot of knowledge to be profitable as an investor, and often both. For the majority of people, investing is little more than gambling. Yes, of course, there are those who win, for a time. But as recent events have shown, those gains can be wiped out very quickly. Ultimately, you have no control. It's all a question of getting the timing just right and not getting stuck if and when the bottom drops out. Location, location, location. But wait just a minute. It's become an adage of both the real estate and business communities. The key to success is location, location, location. But what happens when you can't get to that location, as with the recent lockdowns? What happens if the market changes and a location or geographic area that once was good no longer is? As we've seen with hurricanes, tornadoes, floods, wildfires, etc. This is yet another risk factor we've got to include in our plan. You need an income-generating activity that can literally be done from anywhere. Yes, of course, one that can be done from home, but one that can also be done from wherever you are, another city or state or country. These days, that location risk factor can be completely eliminated with access to the internet. Speed of income is important. Many people have been unfairly prejudiced against the idea of get-rich-quick schemes. The term itself is a pejorative. It's become associated with things that are illegal or immoral, and that's a shame because it's not always true. Of course, you want to do something that is moral, ethical, and is beneficial to others. You see, the speed at which one earns money is also very important. Let me illustrate. If you earned $1 million, but it took you 50 years to do it, that would be only $20,000 a year. That would not be considered a big deal. However, if you earn that same $1 million in 5 years, 10 times faster, that would be far more impressive. Yes? Of course. It's not the amount, it's the speed at which it happened. So whatever you do, you must look for things that have the potential to generate profit quickly. Again, with as low of a risk as possible. There's one more thing. If you are going to take the time to pursue a valid income-generating activity, then there's one more very important consideration. That is the demand for your product or service. If nobody's looking for what you've got, then very little else matters. But demand can change, like fads or fashion or technology. So you want something that has been proven to stand the test of time. So let's total up where we're at. In order to successfully protect yourself and your family financially, here is the list of criteria we've talked about so far. You need an income-generating activity that has low risk. That means it doesn't cost much to get started. There are no debts you'll need to incur like mortgages or business loans. There's a low overhead to keep it going. The income-generating activity needs the ability to be conducted anywhere. You are not confined to doing business in a particular location. You can carry out your tasks by computer, tablet, iPad, or with a mobile phone. You only need internet access. It needs to be something that can generate profits quickly. It needs to be something where you have a high level of control. It is something simple enough that you can learn it quickly. It is something that is moral, ethical, and beneficial to others. There is a constant, never-ending demand for what you've got. Phew, that's quite a wish list. Is there anything that can fit this extensive list of demands? There is one thing proven over time. Obviously, there are exceedingly few businesses that can fit every single item of that list of criteria. Here is the best one. Network marketing, also known as MLM, has been proven over the past 7 decades to meet every single objective on our list above. In fact, it is considered to be the ultimate shortcut for financially protecting you and your family, and for achieving personal wealth. Let's see how network marketing stacks up. Here's how network marketing matches and compares to our extensive list of requirements. It doesn't need large cash outlays or incurring massive debt, or having costly overhead to get started. In most cases, you can begin with a few $100s, and oftentimes even less. The overhead to run a network marketing business is extremely low. Other than what you purchase for yourself each month, there is no inventory to buy. You also don't have to maintain, track, store, or ship anything, as the parent companies do all that for you. Compared to traditional businesses, you don't need fancy facilities or large numbers of employees. You don't need advanced degrees or any formal schooling. You don't need a particular employment background or type of work experience to get started. It's a simple business, and one that is easy to learn. These days, with many MLM companies, you truly have a worldwide marketplace. Quite a number of them operate successfully in North America, Central America, South America, Asia, and Europe. There is also the greatest possible consumer demand. That is a huge point to consider. Contrary to what you may have thought previously, the main thing any network marketing company offers is the opportunity to make money from home, regardless of the product or service that any one particular company provides. As anyone can plainly see, now, more than at any time in recorded history, there is an increasing number of people who are actively seeking legitimate ways to make money from home. Network marketing companies are in the people development business. Their training focuses on helping people to improve important human qualities. You will see average people grow in their abilities to communicate, lead others, and maintain a more positive outlook. Those are all very beneficial qualities, and are some of the unseen advantages of having a business like this. It's not all roses. Let's be real here and not oversimplify things. While it's true that there are many benefits of starting a home business with a network marketing company, it's not all roses. Just like in traditional business, there is a significant failure rate. Unfortunately, there are far too many people who approach this profession as if it's the lazy man's way to riches. Let's get clear on a couple of things here. This is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is a business, with rules that must be followed and procedures that must be learned and applied. In order to be successful, one must gain some new skills and take the time to properly develop them. The biggest advantage. The biggest advantage network marketing provides can be summed up in one word: leverage. Leverage allows you to multiply your results, and it amplifies your power without consuming any additional resources or energy. Compared to other types of business, being successful in network marketing is not based on how much work you can do personally. Instead, this is all about leveraging the time and the efforts of the team of people you build. In a traditional business, if you are working at it for 20 hours a week, you'll be paid on the results you generate with those 20 hours. Here's how leverage works to your advantage with network marketing. Let's say you build a team of just 16 people who each work 20 hours. That's a total of 16 people times 20 hours, or 320 hours in total. You can be paid on the results created from 320 hours instead of merely the 20 that you put in personally. Let's take it just one step further and say you have a team of just 50 members putting in 20 hours a week. Now you can be paid on the efforts and results of 1,000 hours a week. Eventually, some people become so successful that after just a few years, they have very large teams built. Those people continue to put forth their efforts to grow their business. When your team gets big enough, your income is effectively on automatic pilot. That means that no matter what happens to you personally, your income will continue month after month. It is the very definition of residual income. You do the work once and then get paid on it over and over and over again. Revenue-generating activities, being strategic. Here's how to speed up your financial results, along with increasing the results of every person on your team. You must engage in those activities that produce revenue. Do not waste time with activities that merely keep you busy but don't create income. The most important revenue-generating activity in this type of business is the introduction of new reps. At this moment, more people than ever before are actively looking for legitimate ways to make money from home. With that in mind, can you imagine how profitable it would be if you had a constant supply of those interested prospects being delivered to you on a weekly basis? Imagine never having to prospect for people. As just discussed, you must avoid time-wasting activities and focus on revenue-generating activities. Imagine for a moment what it would be like if you had a constant supply of people who had already stepped up and identified themselves as being interested in starting a home business. Currently, there are millions upon millions of people who are actively looking for ways to make extra money working from home on a weekly basis. Wouldn't it be great if you knew who they were and how to contact them? Stop imagining. That's exactly what you're about to discover. A proven plan. A proven business plan is to work pre-qualified leads. That is where people have responded to online advertising, raised their hands requesting more information, and then answered several questions to qualify their level of interest. Your time can then be spent directly reaching out to people who have identified themselves as wanting to make additional money with a home-based business. Suppose your plan is to work 20 hours a week, and during that time make contact with between 150 and 300 people. First of all, it would be difficult to find that many people to contact each week if you didn't have a proven system in place and working well. Working pre-qualified leads is the very best way to maximize the effectiveness of your own time. It's employing time leverage to your personal advantage. Now picture this. Suppose you had a team of 50 people who each was like you. They wanted to work 20 hours a week and planned to contact between 150 to 300 pre-qualified prospects a week. To keep our arithmetic easy, let's say those 50 reps were able to contact 200 people a week. That's a total of 10,000 prospects a week being contacted by your group. They're reaching out, making presentations, and inviting them to look at your business opportunity. With numbers like that, you could generate some pretty impressive incomes. It gets even better. When a person joins your business through a highly organized system like the one we just described, it will feel comfortable and natural for them to use the same approach. After all, they know for certain the plan works since it's how they got enrolled. Using a systematic approach like this will enable your team to grow quite large and do it much faster than those typical reps who work their businesses in a haphazard fashion. Understanding the amazing power of leverage means you don't need a big group of people in order to earn a lot of money. You just need a dedicated group of people who are productive because they are working a clear and proven system. Think about it. A team of just 100 reps reaching out to 200 prospects a week equals 20,000 contacts, an impressive number by any standard. Leveraging your time for maximum effectiveness. Look, you can spend your time building funnels, writing sales copy, testing ads, and also doing a ton of prospecting, searching for qualified people. Or you can spend your time making presentations and closing business with leads who came to you pre-qualified. Remember, it's about time leverage. Stay focused on money-making activities that are duplicatable. Don't quit, be consistent, and always know that the law of large numbers will never fail you. It's time to take action. It is up to you to come up with a workable plan to financially protect yourself and your family. We've listed a good number of critical considerations to factor into that plan. You've gained an understanding of the important things you do want and received fair warning about the things you don't. You realize just how vital it is to be in control of your own financial future and the necessity of having a new income-generating project of your own. The one proven business that fits all the criteria we've laid out is network marketing. It's a simple business, but never mistake it for an easy business. There are skills you must learn that are crucial to your success. Bear in mind that the greatest advantage here is leverage. Leverage is the most important power that will enable you to achieve the financial protection you are seeking. You must understand it and use it. Do that, and you and your family will have the financial protection you seek and more, for you will be well on your way to creating lasting and sustainable wealth. What now? Be sure to review this video and report as many times as you need. People often find they pick up new ideas from watching and rereading reports like this after a day or two. Remember, nothing happens without taking action. Get with the person who introduced you to this video, and they will be happy to provide you with more details. Thanks for watching.